my appreciation and everyone's appreciation as well for you being here tonight for this very important community meeting. So again, my cordial welcome to the Mark Twain families that are here, to the staff, and to all our community members. I also want to convey to you that I certainly understand that this is going to be a difficult meeting and a challenging night in many ways, but it is asked that we show the wonderful character traits that we have exuded here at Mark Twain, from our children to the adults, and that as we express your thoughts and feelings, that we could convey them in a manner that's respectful and dignified, and certainly show the wonderful community that we are here at Mark Twain. I also want to, in addition to that, convey important information about daycare. We have daycare available for children that are preschoolers and room 16, and we have daycare also available for children that are school age. If you would like to have them be in daycare during this time, then that will be in room 22. And further information is that we have translation in Spanish. There are translators available in the back with some headphones, and if you need them, please send them mail and they will provide one for you within the different languages. And I think that's one of the main things that I wanted to cover before I introduce you to our facilitator. I'm going to go ahead and repeat in Spanish what I just said. Buenas noches, gracias por estar aquí. Yo sé que esta noche va a ser difícil en diferentes maneras, pero por favor cuando hagan sus participaciones, sus comentarios, si pueden demostrar el respeto y la buena conducta que tenemos aquí en nuestra escuela. También quiero decirles que tenemos traductores. Si necesitan a alguien que les traduzca, tenemos a personas allá con aparatos que pueden usar para poder entender lo que estamos diciendo aquí en inglés. Y si necesitan cuidado de niños, tenemos cuidado en el salón 17 de niños preescolares, y también tenemos cuidado para niños de kinder, para arriba también los niños más mayores en el salón 22. Y ahora voy a hablar de vuelta en inglés, y quiero decirles que la persona que va a presentar y representar el distrito se llama el señor Jess Serna, y ahorita lo voy a introducir en inglés. And now I'd like to introduce you to our presenter, and he is Mr. Jess Serna, that's going to be speaking tonight with regards to where we are with our school community, the possibility of the future closure of Mark. Thank you.
On behalf of Superintendent Raymond, Board of Education, I'd like to thank you for being here tonight in support of your school and your children. I wasn't able to see if we had any board members here this evening. Are there any board members here this evening? Thank you. You want to start this? I know this is a difficult conversation to have. I will tell you on a very personal level, I've been in the business of education for a long, long time, and these are not one of the most difficult decisions that have to be made. So I know tonight will be difficult. And because we know these conversations can be emotional and hard, I'll be asking for your assistance tonight in ensuring that we are respectful of one another during these conversations. Again, recognize that we need to hear and want to hear what you have to say. We want to hear your feedback, but I'm sure you will represent this school well, that you will be courteous and professional, and that we set good examples for our children, because that's really what we are about in education, trying to set good examples for you. So I'm sure you will do that tonight as you give us your feedback. We'll discuss right sizing. We'll also talk about the fiscal situation that has led us to these difficult decisions, and why it's so critical and important, these decisions that we're making, and the consequences of not taking these actions, and what you can expect during this process. I will give you a brief presentation, and then afterwards, we will open it up for the audience to give us some comments. Just to inform you, Board President Cuneo. Thank you for being here, President Cuneo. Okay, we're going to move forward with this presentation. I'll try to do this as quickly as possible. So that you can speak to us and give us your feedback. So we go to slide 2, please. Thank you. This chart is from the California Department of Education. It shows that the district has lost 5,479 students between 2001, 2002, and 2011, 2012. That's approximately 160 classrooms of students. We've also lost at least 800 students this year, and we are projecting to lose 800 more students next year. Reasons for this decline include the aging of our neighborhoods, the lure of new homes in nearby suburbs, and the recession and the foreclosure crisis. It should be noted that it's not just our district that's losing school-aged children. California in general has a declining child population due to lower birth rates and fewer newcomers to the state. Slide number 3. Thank you for doing that. This chart shows Mark Twain elementary enrollment going back to 1996-97. Mark Twain hit a high of 629 students in 1998-99. This year, Mark Twain has just 393 students. That's a loss of 236 students, or an enrollment loss of approximately 38%. Slide number 4, please. As we said, no one wants to close schools. Having said that, we need to match the number of schools we have with the number of students we serve. We have too many elementary schools that are filled or are far less than capacity. That puts a strain on our resources, on our staff, and it costs us lots of money. Here you can see San Juan Unified is just about the same level of enrollment that we do. Has 43 elementary schools. We have 56. That's 13 less than we have. Also on this chart, you'll see Elk Grove Unified, which has about 14,000 more students than we have. They have 39 elementary schools, or 17 less than we have. Slide number 5. Declining enrollment makes Sac City Unified School District budget problems worse because our funds from the state are based on the number of students we serve. Because of declining enrollment, state cuts caused by the recession, and loss of federal funds, our district has had to face 10 years of severe budget cuts. In the last 5 years, we've been forced to cut $146 million from our budget. Last year alone, we had to cut $28 million. We had a $28 million deficit, and we were forced to cut teachers, custodians, assistant principals, counselors, librarians, nurses, social workers, maintenance staff, bus drivers, and adult education. We've run out of places to cut. Slide 6, please. This chart illustrates the severity of the cuts over the past 11 years. Since 2002-2003, we've reduced our spending by $216 million because of cuts to funding to our district. Slide number 7. Despite the years of cutting, we are expecting another significant deficit for this next year, 2013-14. Again, because of declining enrollment and rising costs of our district. If we close 8 of our most chronically underutilized schools, we will save approximately $1.5 million a year. If we don't close these schools, our budget will still have to be balanced. So let's look again at what we've already cut. Slide 8. Again, this slide illustrates the various positions, classifications that we cut in this district. Slide 9. We've heard people say, what about Proposition 30? Wasn't that supposed to save our schools? And many of us were. Scott, I sat right next to Scott during phone banking for Proposition 30. The passage of Proposition 30 saved our district from having to make an additional $50 million cut mid-year to our budget. We were going to have to end our school year this year had Proposition 30 failed by 2 additional weeks. So we're happy that Prop 30 passed. But even with Proposition 30, our district still faces declining enrollment, rising costs, and a strain on our resources caused by the operation of too many elementary schools. We are very likely still to be deficit spending next year. As for measures Q and R, those bond funds cannot be used to balance our budget. Those funds will be used to upgrade and repair your child's new school and middle school and high school that your children will eventually attend. Slide 10. So how did your school get on the closure list? Again, this is about the district's financial reality. No one, again, and I've said this before and I can't say it enough, no one wants school districts to make these based on finances. But we have to. If we don't deliver a balanced budget to the county every year, we will be taken over by the state, and the state will make those decisions for us. So since we are forced to make this decision based on our financial reality, that we have dwindling funds due to declining enrollment and rising costs, we use financial criteria in determining which schools should be closed. These decisions are not, and I repeat, not a judgment about your principal, about our teachers, about our communities. We know you love your school and your teachers and your principals, and that's great, and you should. We simply have more schools that we can afford. The district looked at capacity and used the formula that we'll explain in a moment to create a list of the most underutilized schools. One of the schools initially on this list was Tahoe Elementary, which many students projected to attend Mark Twain as a result of this closure. However, during this process, concerns were raised from the community about the impact that the future of West Campus bond-funded transformation project would have on traffic concerns at Mark Twain with the addition of students from Tahoe. As a result, Mark Twain has been added for consideration as an alternative to closing Tahoe. Slide 11. As you can see, Mark Twain would serve a maximum of 876 students, but serve 393. In utilizing just 45% of the campus, Mark Twain is among the district's most underutilized schools. Slide 12, please. So how was schools' capacity calculated? The method we used for determining capacity was to count all teachable spaces in each school, including surplus classrooms that could house students but are currently used for such things as child development programs, supplemental teacher lounges, PE prep rooms, etc. We removed libraries from that calculus. And then we calculated the capacity by using current class size limits, including smaller limits for special education classes. We use the same criteria to determine capacity at every school. I want to repeat that because it's so important. The exact same formula is used for every elementary school district-wide. Slide 13. We've identified Tahoe Elementary as the new home school for Mark Twain students. Also, Mark Twain families will be given priority in the district's open enrollment process. Open enrollment is an opportunity for Mark Twain families to apply for spots in schools beyond your neighborhood and to apply for available seats in specialty programs. Students from schools that are recommended for closure will be given priority during open enrollment process, which begins February 19th and lasts through March 15th. What do we mean by priority in this process? At the end of the open enrollment window, again, March 15th, your students will be placed in a special lottery available only for you and other students from schools slated for closure. Then and only then are other applicants from around the district considered for these available spaces. This is not a first-come, first-served process. Placement is completed at the end of the open enrollment window after all applicants are received, ensuring the priority status for schools impacted by closure. If there are more applicants than available seats, students will be placed on the waiting list for their preference school and attend the new neighborhood school. To apply for open enrollment, parents must submit an online application. If you don't have access to the internet, you can use a computer here at your school. We're also offering walk-in open enrollment registration on March 6th, 7th, and 8th at the Enrollment Center at 5601 47th Avenue. For more information about open enrollment process, please visit our website at www.suusd.edu. Slide 14. We know many of you have concerns about getting your child safely to their new school. I want to reassure you that safety of your kids is our #1 priority in this process. We are working with Sacramento Police Department, Sacramento City Unified School District's Safe School Office, and the City of Sacramento to ensure that all children get to their new schools safely. We are studying traffic patterns and projections and working with our partners on ways to mitigate any challenges that may arise. Slide 15. For families going to Tahoe, walking attendants or crossing guards are provided to help your child get to their new schools safely. We're also working with the city to identify recommended routes for children to get to Tahoe. Slide 16. So what are some of the benefits for your child at a larger school? These benefits include fewer split classes. Class sizes would remain the same at your new school. A new larger school would not have larger classes. More resources for additional staff and programs and for students. Slide 17. We also believe that more staff have more peers to collaborate with, which helps improve student learning. With fewer campuses to paint, clean, and repair and control, the district will be able to provide a healthier, safer school environment for children. Larger parent communities can provide more opportunities for parent and community involvement. There are more hands to help. Slide 18. So what are the next steps? The Board of Education is scheduled to take action on this issue on March 2nd. Following the board action on the 7th, a committee will be appointed to make a detailed and thorough recommendation regarding the reuse or the repurposing of closed facilities. Community input will be extremely important as part of this process. Slide 19. We are now in the process of forming a district-wide and school-level transition teams to work closely with staff and parents to mitigate any challenges that may occur and make sure everyone is taken care of during this process. The areas this team will be focusing on include transportation, safety, supporting families, enrollment support, and school culture, among other topics. I know that there is a lot of information here, so I want to remind everyone that there are printouts in the back of the room if you want to review this information more carefully. I know many of you have come here tonight to make comments about this decision. We want to make sure we give as many people as possible the opportunity to be heard. In your comments and questions, we hope to hear feedback from you how we can best support your students and families during this process. To ensure that we respect each other's opinion and time, we're asking everyone to follow some ground rules. These ground rules are also posted on each side of the room. There are microphones on both sides of the room, so if you would please line up behind one of them if you would like to make a comment. You will alternate between microphones. If you need Spanish language interpreter, please line up on the left or your right. If you need a long interpreter, please line up on the right or your left. We ask that you limit your comments to 2 minutes per speaker to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to speak. We'll have a timekeeper at the front of the room so you'll know when your 2 minutes have elapsed. Please allow everyone the opportunity to speak once before making another comment. If you have additional comments to make, or if you don't wish to speak aloud, we have provided comment cards that are in the back of the room to allow you to provide us your feedback in writing. I understand that there's a lot to say. We want to make sure that everyone has an equal opportunity to hear tonight. If there is a question about the data and the report before you, we will do our best to answer it tonight. However, we will not be able to answer every question tonight. We will provide responses to all questions on the district website within the next week. Each school will also post responses to the questions. You will notice that there are staff in the front of the room taking notes from tonight's meeting, so we can be sure to capture all of your feedback. We're also videotaping this meeting to ensure that we are capturing it. We have also provided a frequently asked questions document that's in the back of the room, which will address many of your questions. Again, since this is such an emotional topic, I understand the urge to applaud another community member's remarks. We would ask that you hold your applause, and if you wish, we often use at our board meetings a silent applause. Shake your hands. Again, this is to ensure that everyone feels comfortable enough to say and express the feelings that they have. Finally, we will be ending tonight's meeting at 9 o'clock to be respectful of everyone's time and recognizing that tomorrow is a school day. Again, I want to remind folks tonight that we need to hear you and want to hear you. But I urge you to engage in this process, and I'm sure you will, in a respectful manner that is a good example for all of us in the community, and most importantly, an example for our students who are present tonight. I also would ask that most of the side conversations please be held to a minimum, because we truly want to hear everyone's comments. We truly want to hear what everyone has to say. That's very important to us. So we would ask that many of the side conversations be held to a minimum. Having said that, we'll begin public comment. I've just been notified that board member Pritchett is here tonight. Christina Pritchett. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here tonight. I know there are people standing in the back also. There are empty seats here in the front. So please, if you need a seat, there are two empty seats here in the front also, okay? Okay. We will begin on the right.
Microphone on. My name is Scott Chase. I'm a teacher here at Mark Twain. And just before I begin, I would like to point out that I asked Mr. Cerna if I found two Mark Twain community members that were willing to give me their time, that I could go over the 2 minutes. So these two people are going to donate their time to me.
Thank you.
Mr. Chase,
Thank you. And can we get your name just for our record, ma'am? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, sir.
Tonight's meeting isn't about two schools. Tonight's meeting is about student safety and real solutions to save the district money during a time of declining educational funding from the state of California. The dwindling funds to education are a direct result of a national recession in which the economy of California was impacted greatly by job losses, which not only resulted in a loss of tax revenue from the state to the district, but also resulted in the loss of district enrollment. But tonight's meeting is more than about safety and a loss of educational funding. Tonight's meeting is about the value of West Campus High School and the uniqueness of Mark Twain Elementary School. Speaking from the perspective of a parent and a teacher, nothing is more important than student safety. In November of 2012, bond measures Q and R were passed in the city of Sacramento to provide additional public funds to renovate the district's aging campuses. When the renovation of West Campus High School begins in the fall of 2013, Mark Twain has a plan to ensure student safety. The renovation of West Campus will be to the south of Mark Twain. This is West Campus High School. This is Mark Twain. Mark Twain will redirect its entrance and exit to the north, to 22nd Avenue. The parking lot on 58th Street will be cordoned off. Even the kindergarten room, room 16, will be accessed from the north using the north doors of room 16. At Tahoe's community forum, some parents expressed concerns about the route from Tahoe to Mark Twain. I live in East Sacramento and personally travel this route 10 times a week, 40 times a month, nearly 400 times a year. The route from Tahoe to Mark Twain is very safe. It's a walking route. No busing will be required. No additional district revenue will be needed to be spent on transportation. There are undulations along all the routes with a 15-mile-an-hour speed limit over the undulations. Many East Sacramento students take this walking and bike route to West Campus daily. 14th Avenue has a stoplight at the intersection of 14th Avenue and 58th Street with crosswalks on both sides of 58th Street. At the intersection of 21st Avenue and 58th Street, there are 7 stop signs, 2 on each side of 21st Avenue. There's also a stop sign in the middle of 21st Avenue, meaning you cannot cross 21st Avenue without having to re-stop in the middle of 21st Avenue. There's a bike lane along 21st Avenue. In addition, from 65th Street to Stockton Boulevard, there's an island meridian with benches, trees, and a grass area that the community uses to walk their dogs and relax. If Mark Twain closes, the students will be sent to Tahoe. However, if Tahoe reaches capacity, the overflow Mark Twain students will be sent to Peter Burnett. To go from Mark Twain to Peter Burnett, you need to cross Fruitridge Boulevard. Fruitridge has 2 lanes each way with a speed limit of 40 miles per hour. There's only one stoplight to cross Fruitridge Boulevard in a distance of a mile from 65th Street to Stockton Boulevard. Fruitridge Boulevard has no bike lanes. Most of Mark Twain students walk to school, and they will be unable to walk safely to Peter Burnett if they're directed to attend Peter Burnett because Tahoe's at capacity. Sadly, just last year, a West Campus student named Michelle Origi was killed while crossing Fruit Ridge Boulevard. Michelle participated in Mark Twain after-school mentoring program, and we share this loss to the West Campus and the community. Finally, two other points, the value of West Campus High School. The relationship of West Campus High to Mark Twain is a positive, reciprocal relationship. West Campus began in 1984, 29 years ago. Every day, an army of peer tutors comes to Mark Twain to provide individual and small group differentiated instruction. The West Campus peer tutoring program began in 1991 and has been in existence for the last 22 years. In fact, if you calculate the cost of savings to the district of these 70 high school senior peer tutors using the district's instructional aid pay schedule, this year's peer tutors would have cost the district $627,000. Peer tutoring is an elective course seniors at West Campus take to receive credit, and they earn a grade for their experience and service as peer tutors at Mark Twain. Peer tutors attend this elective class on the Mark Twain campus during 5 periods throughout the school day. It should be noted that an additional teacher would be needed to be hired by West Campus to cover this elective coursework lost by the closure of Mark Twain. In the fall of 2014, National Common Core standards will be implemented in California. Not only will these standards be more rigorous and challenging, but the need for individual and small group instruction will be at an all-time high. Mark Twain shares resources with West Campus. These shared resources include a shared peer tutor advisor, cafeteria equipment, labor and overhead costs of operating only one cooking facility, shared trash collection, a shared plant manager. All of these shared resources add up to $250,000 of savings to the district annually. West Campus peer tutors provide more than just instructional needs for the students of Mark Twain. West Campus peer tutors serve as role models to the students of Mark Twain. Mark Twain has been very successful working with high-need students. Tahoe Elementary has had 112 suspensions in the past 2 years, compared to Mark Twain's 2-year suspension total of only 47. Tahoe and Peter Burnett have both placed student behavior as priority on their school development improvement plan. We believe the West Campus peer tutors have positively affected Mark Twain student behavior. West Campus students mentor Mark Twain students. They participate in an on-site peer tutoring program. They teach music and sports to Mark Twain students, and are official and unofficial big brothers and sisters to Mark Twain students. The West Campus band on Mark Twain's field exposes Mark Twain students to the arts. Finally, many West Campus students focus their senior projects on serving Mark Twain. Last point, the uniqueness of Mark Twain's campus. In 2012-2013 school year, in other words, this school year, there are currently 49 schools in the district, 49 elementary schools. Only 3 of these elementary schools have an early late program. Intermediate teachers at Mark Twain teach an additional 90 minutes a week so that primary teachers at Mark Twain can have smaller class sizes to meet individual students' needs for literacy instruction. Mark Twain not only has 78 more students than Tahoe Elementary, but is utilizing 45% of its teachable space compared to Tahoe's use of only 40% of its teachable space. The Mark Twain campus is 10 acres larger than Tahoe's campus. This extra 10 acres could be used to expand Mark Twain's teachable space, or it could be used to expand West Campus facilities. We don't need all these extra acres for the students of Mark Twain. Tahoe Elementary has a maximum capacity of 788 students. Mark Twain has a maximum capacity of 876 students. So Mark Twain can have 88 more students on his campus. In conclusion, Mark Twain has an organized plan for student safety during West Campus's temporary renovation. Mark Twain saves the district precious dollars during the state's lean years of of educational funding because of the economy and housing crisis in California. Mark Twain has items that cannot be transported to Tahoe. The positive influence and peer tutoring program of West Campus. West Campus is not only the highest performing high school in the district, but as well as the entire Sacramento region. Mark Twain Intermediate students receive an additional 90 minutes of instruction per week. These 90 minutes a week add up to 6 hours per month or an extra school day per month. Those extra school days per month are an extra 10 days of instruction per year. Not only does Mark Twain not meet the district's objective criteria, which are low enrollment and least use of its teachable space, but Mark Twain saves the district an estimated $877,000 annually because of sharing resources with West Campus and because of the West Campus peer tutoring program.
I think we went a little bit beyond, but because we truly want to hear everyone's comments, we truly are not going to adhere to the 2-minute timeline. So again, just keep an eye on the clock. We want to hear everyone, and again, the meeting is scheduled to end at 9. So we'll take our next comment over here on the left.
Good evening, Mark Twain family. Okay, I want to start with saying that Mr. Chase and I and Ms. Weiner and Mr. Hammer and Ms. Guillen all attended the board meeting last week. And one thing that resonated with Mark Twain was, after that meeting, was that there's a need for solutions. And many people at the meeting were quick to point fingers and attack the board for every problem facing this district, but very few, if any, offered viable solutions. Mark Twain is a community of problem solvers. We sat, listened, took notes, and came together to find solutions. What I'd like to start with now is how important it is that everyone comes to school every day. And as you know from our perfect attendance board and how often we bother you about getting your kids here to school on time and every day.